Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a story for you here today titled My Nurse Wife Cheated on Me with a Doctor, and She Was Shocked When I Kicked Her Out. Now, I have heard some very negative things about nurses. I've heard lots of stories of dudes who have tried to date nurses, and the general consensus seems to be that it is a terrible idea. From what I understand, a lot of these women are, cheating with patients, they're cheating with other members of staff, doctors, and things like this. And this is one such situation where she probably thinks, hey, this doctor guy, he's doing better than my husband, he's more attractive, I'm attracted to him, so I'm just going to cheat, and my husband is never going to find out. But of course, the husband finds out, and then she's shocked when she gets kicked out. Now, guys, before we jump into this story, don't forget to like the video if you are new here. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's take a listen to what this story has to tell us. So it is a 34-year-old guy, and it says a 34-year-old man shares how he found his 32-year-old nurse wife was cheating on him, not through her phone, but in a much more humiliating way, and how she was stunned when he immediately kicked her out of their home. Which, by the way, is the correct move, by the way. Just throw the woman out instantly. There's no reason to do anything else. There's no reason to go to therapy or do anything that these women suggest to try and make it up to you. Just boot them out. It is probably the best decision that you will make. He says, I'm a 34-year-old male and my now ex-wife is 32. We were married for 6 years, so over half a decade. She was a nurse at a big hospital and I worked remotely in IT. Our life was stable, full of little routines we both seemed happy with. Weekend brunches, Netflix nights, and saving for a bigger house. So it sounds like they already have a house, but they're trying to get a bigger one. So these guys are doing okay. You know, working remotely in IT, she's working at a hospital. And I've heard that nurses get paid a good amount as well. So these guys are probably decently well off, at least compared to the average person, I would imagine. He says, at least I thought she was happy. I had no idea what was really going on behind my back. About 6 months before it all came crashing down, things started to feel off. She started volunteering for a lot more late shifts, sometimes staying overnight for what she called staff shortages. She became distant at home, short-tempered, glued to her phone, and barely interested in anything outside of work gossip or hospital drama. I wanted to believe it was just stress. I didn't want to seem insecure, so I said nothing. I'm tired of reading these stories, guys, where dudes are like, well, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to come across as insecure, right? I didn't want to come across as that husband or that boyfriend, which I always think is just incredibly stupid. But she's short-tempered, glued to her phone, and doesn't talk about anything to him, is not interested in anything aside from work, gossip, or hospital drama. Now, guys, I'll say this. Women who are only interested in things like gossip and drama, like, why in the hell would you spend your time with them anyway? But this sounds like it's a new development, so let's continue. He says, one night, my buddy who works in hospital security called me sounding uncomfortable. That's never a good sign. He says he told me he wasn't supposed to say anything, but that my wife had been caught on a security camera making out with a doctor in one of the hospital's supply rooms. It wasn't a rumor, it wasn't secondhand gossip, it was on a video. He said he figured I deserved to know before it turned into something worse. I thanked him, I hung up, and then I sat there for a while just processing. So here's the thing. This dude, number one, shout out to him for actually telling the husband, right? But second of all, he's probably downplaying how serious it actually was. She probably actively hooked up with the guy, but this guy is just trying to break the news lightly, I would assume. You know, because a lot of these women, right, if you were to go to her and say, well, you know, the camera caught you doing this, she would say, oh, but that's all it was, even though it was something more. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So I think that this dude, this security guy, was probably downplaying it so that the husband didn't just completely flip out. I think this has probably been going on for a long period of time, and it's probably a lot more going on than just what was mentioned in this video. He says, when she came home later that night, I didn't even bother asking questions. I simply told her, I know about you and the doctor. I know everything. At first, she froze, and then came the waterworks. She said it was just one stupid mistake. I was intoxicated. Intoxicated at work, by the way. right? This was at the hospital, I had thought. He says, excuses rolled in faster than I could even respond, but it didn't matter. She had crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. So what does he do? When I told her to pack her bags and leave, she looked stunned, as if I was the bad guy for not talking it through. She begged for another chance. She swore it would never happen again. She cried about the life we built, the house, the dog, everything. No way, man. They even had a dog. That's so sad. I feel sorry for the dog. He says, I stayed firm. I handed her a duffel bag and watched her leave without another word. And this is always funny, too, in these situations, guys, is like, people, the dude typically is expected to sit there and talk it through or go to therapy or something or try and make it work, right? This is what dudes are told to do. Oh, yeah, she might have done that, but she's in pain too, okay? You should try and make it work, as if that's the correct thing to do. There's a lot of gaslighting that happens towards men, in my opinion, and I don't think you should be listening to any of it. But of course, she tries to say it, right? She tries to say, oh, you're the bad guy here because you're not talking it through with me, as if there's something to talk through here. He says, over the next few weeks, she spammed my phone with apology messages. Just block her, to be honest. Long essays about how she had lost herself. And here we go, offers to go to therapy. Hilarious. Meanwhile, mutual acquaintances from the hospital started quietly reaching out to me, confirming that this doctor had a history of getting close to nurses, and my wife was just his latest one. I guess she thought that she was different. She wasn't. Okay, so here's the thing. What's happening here? The mutual acquaintances are contacting him saying, oh, the doctor has a history. Honestly, guys, you can't even be mad at the doctor, realistically. This woman was the one you're married to. Do you know what I mean? Like, this guy is just some lowlife from work, okay? Some random dude who's just hooking up with nurses whenever he can, it seems. But, like, let's not just... If you're the dude in this situation, there's no real point getting mad at this guy. The person you should be mad with is your wife. I never understand these stories, guys, where it's like, a girl will catch her boyfriend cheating, and then the girl will get mad at the other woman, for example. Or vice versa. Or a guy will catch his wife cheating or his girlfriend cheating, and then he'll get mad at the dude, but then he'll try and work it out with the woman. It's always just sounded so stupid to me. Oh yeah, he's getting close to the nurses. I mean, okay. But the fact of the matter is the wife allowed it to happen. Hell, she probably did a lot more than allow it to happen, in my opinion. And also, this is also hilarious about this situation, guys, is the women... Here's the thing. The women know that they're one of many. They just don't care. They would still rather chase that attractive guy, try and lock him down or have their fun. And women will always complain about a dude who's a player who has lots of women. But guess what? That dude will continue to have lots of women. Women don't typically care in the same way that men do, right? If you're seeing a woman and you find out she's been talking to 3 dudes, it's highly repulsive and you'll stop talking to the woman. Women typically don't work the same way, and they'll still chase the guy regardless. So it doesn't actually matter that this dude is seeing a bunch of women. He says, when someone cheats, it's not a random accident. It's a decision made in private moments, thinking that they won't get caught or face consequences. When the trust is broken like that, there is no repairing it. There's only walking away with your self-respect intact. So I think that this guy made the right decision. He just completely walked away from the situation. He says, today I live alone in the same house we once shared. It's quieter, but it's peaceful. No more second guessing, no more wondering if the person I trusted was living a double life. And as for her, from what I hear, things didn't work out with the doctor either. Shocking, I know. He said some people burn their bridges thinking the world will build them a new one, and it doesn't. So absolutely hilarious stuff here, guys. Wife gets booted out, fails to make it work with the doctor, of course, which is just hilarious. Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.